I have to reschedule it because we're already late.
And like you need to you need to see the hold on today. It was terrible. Imagine staying in the road for 2 hours, 2 good hours. I left the office by 6. Now look at when I'm coming home.
No,
And
no.
it's not and it's not like it's kind of like a long journey or something. It just is crazy.
Okay, we're already live now.
Okay.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. Thank you once more for coming to share this beautiful moment with us. And this is Blockchain for All. Today, we are going to have a wonderful speaker that will be talking on a very important topic. And it's really awesome to have an experienced mind like this. Blockchain for All is all about how we educate the general public about blockchain's importance and how it impacts our life. Our first speaker was Mr. Said, and he spoke about the impact of blockchain on social media, which we learned a lot. The video is on YouTube. You can follow us to watch previous videos on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. You just follow Japheth Johnson or B Contact HQ on those social media handles to watch our previous videos. Today with me, I have Mr. Oji Joseph. Mr. Oji Joseph is a security expert, a software, and let me call him a blockchain developer. He works with GIG Expert, one of the new exchange platform here in Nigeria. Um, he has vast knowledge in blockchain since he has been able to work with a team now on building an exchange. So Oji is a graduate from Federal University of Technology, Mina. He studied cyber security. So he's someone that has been in the software space for quite some time now, and it's really interesting to have him online with us today. So he'll be talking on a very key important topic because looking at the nature of what's happening in the country and the economy at large, job opportunities are becoming more scarce, and a lot of people are confused on what to learn. So many people go to university, but at the same time, we get confused on what to learn and what to become at the end of the day. Blockchain has come to bring opportunities, and that's one of the things that I will be discussing about today, showing us or telling us opportunities that a lot of Nigerian youth or African youth can take advantage of to become useful to the important and to the economy and to the nation at large. We are really very happy to have you, Mr. Oji. I know Lagos can be so crazy, so we had to even come online very late because of the traffic there. But we are very happy still he made it to the meeting today. So quick one, Mr. Oji, you do a run up of, let's say, introduction, then you start on a topic on explaining blockchain before we go fully into the topic. So please, for viewers, kindly share this to your friends. Today is really going to be awesome. I know this person that is going to be speaking, so I'll be going online to also share the link with a lot of pages and groups on Facebook so that we'll have the audience in one place. So kindly share this to your Facebook friends, your WhatsApp friends as we continue. So welcome, Mr. Oji. Your mic is off.
Sorry, I'm muted. Please, am I audible enough right now? Please.
Yes, you are, Mr. Oji. Wonderful
Oh,
speaker there.
okay. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here tonight. Mr. Japheth has already done the introduction. So, my name is Oji. I'm a blockchain developer. I'm a full stack software engineer, and it's my pleasure have being with you guys tonight in the house. Like First of all, I have to apologize for coming late. It was, of course, if you're in Lagos, you understand how it is for you to get off the office and try to make it 8 p.m. back home as soon as you know sometimes it's highly impossible, but I have to be here because I had to attend this meeting. And it's so exciting to be talking about blockchain tonight. And the topic itself is one of the main reasons why I really, really wanted to be here because this is a future. I like to call it a future. This is a future that is absolutely so important if you are 18 years and 45 years. If you are from 18 to 45 years and you are not leveraging on this future called blockchain, then I think you have to rethink what you're actually learning or what you're actually looking at in terms of future. Because I used to say that blockchain is not just the future, blockchain is the present. Like we are actually living in blockchain. And I'm just glad to be here tonight to talk about blockchain itself and the opportunity that you can get, when you leverage on the technology itself called blockchain. Blockchain in itself is is a decentralized database. It's as simple as that. We're actually saying that we want to have a connection of computer that is not dependent on any principles or rules. We want to have a connection of computers that is dependent on two people on a peer-to-peer system, and that's all about blockchain. I don't want to speak. I don't want to say more, right? Because I know we have a lot of things to talk about tonight. So I will just keep it simple. And like I said, I'm so excited to be here tonight with you guys. My name is Oji Joseph, and David. Yeah, that's all for me for now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ozzy, for that wonderful introduction. I think this, I know he has to just do it. Doesn't like introducing himself that much, but he's an awesome person. One thing about him is the passion he loves for teaching. So over the years, he has been taking a lot of tutorials while in university, and he also has groups where he actually teaches about career talk and how people will be able to grow up their financial. So I think those are two groups that he actually works on, and I've been privileged to speak to some of his members there. And I really tell you, if we have people like this, then Nigeria has a future. So thank you, Mr. Oji, for coming. Really happy. So to start with today, we just want you to explain, because we are going to be talking about job opportunities, and it's really something that is very important to us as youth and people that are trying to see how we can help the economy. So you will talk about the nature of job in Nigeria currently, not the blockchain part. We're talking about help us to understand how is the current job in Nigeria going? Are there jobs, and what are the challenges currently faced by companies and even job seekers? I think it will give us a good understanding to understand why we need to transcend or change our mindset. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so very much for that question, Mr. Jaffet. And firstly, I want to say, and I want to be among the 0.1% of Nigerians that will say there is so many jobs in the country. The country is so full of jobs that we don't even have the human power to do those jobs. There are jobs. If anybody in this country is telling you that there's no job, the person is absolutely not aware of what is going on in the world at large. In a country where the internet is the sole aim of financial transaction, and you're saying there's no job, come on. There are millions of jobs being posted on several platforms on a daily basis. The problem we have is not the job. The problem we always have is the manpower, the skill set to do the job. And that has been our biggest problem. There are jobs, but then where are the people that are going to be doing that job? If you go to LinkedIn today, if you search for a particular skill set, you will definitely find a job opening. If you go to Indeed today, if you search for a particular skill set, you will definitely find job openings, several job openings, not just the tech job, but job openings in different parastatals, the oil industry, the entertainment industry, the music industry. There are jobs. But the issues we always have is the manpower, because the way the structure, the way our educational system in the country is being structured, we assume that what we need for a job is a certificate. But no, we don't need a certificate for a job. What you need for a job is your level of skill set and accomplishment. I don't want you to bring a certificate in my office and tell me because you're a first class graduate, I should give you a job. How does that increase the revenue of my office? That's the first question I'm going to ask you. So I want you to come to my office because there is a particular problem that we need a manpower or a human power to fix. And that is how we have to start thinking in terms of job searching, because that is how we fail to think, and that is why we think there is no job, because we have this document that was issued to us by one university or the other, and we think that with that document that was issued to us by one university or the other, it automatically guarantees us to what, to get a job. That is not how the systems works. I can tell you and I can confirm it as of today, there are hundreds or if not thousands of Nigerians that sit at the comfort of their home and work abroad. There are thousands of job openings, not just local jobs, but international jobs. But like I said, the problem is, where are the manpower? What can you do? If you are being called for an interview for that your particular dream job that you have dreamt of having for all your life, if you are being called for an interview to defend yourself that you are the right candidate for that job, can you do that job? That's the question we absolutely have to sincerely answer to ourselves. Because if it is about job, that is job. But then there is no manpower to do those jobs. And that's just the problem. Yeah, Mr. Jaffet, I guess I answered your question on that, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for all the concerning that. I think it really shows us how important it is for us to understand what we need to do, because every year you keep shouting there's no job, but we get to understand that it's not as if there's no job, but we need to actually build capacity for the type of jobs that are available now. So the mindset is not to actually keep studying or going back to learn the old ways, because old ways are not going to give us new results. I think that's what you are trying to explain now. So there are jobs, but the jobs that are available now need us to actually change our mindset, need us to change our orientation to be able to actually adapt or fit into these new categories of jobs. Okay, so I'm trying to actually bring it up from a perspective of understanding from where we are all coming from, so that it not be we preaching something new and someone feels like it's too difficult. Because when you start talking about the new jobs and how we need to transcend to them, we need to understand that this is the mindset we are already having, and this is something we need to change. Okay, and what we already have in the country is the educational sector is supposed to actually produce the workforce or the effective workforce that we have, that we should have. Okay, so for us to actually change the narrative, we need to come from the point of where the masses or the mass number of employed, employable youth are being groomed. Okay, because when we are able to work from there, it will help us actually feed in a lot of potentials to the industry. Because industries now have to just, after your graduate school 4 years, 8 years, they still have to take you on a training, which is just like, why do you actually have to go to the university? Because after going to university, you come to my company, I still have to take you for 1 year training. Is so exhausting. You understand? So, what do you feel the educational system should start doing in terms of their syllabus, or how they look at grooming up students? Because that will help us understand where we are coming from and try to see how we'll be able to help youths that are in the education or people that are in school now to understand how they'll be able to move in to the new job. So the assignment are happening and it's not what you are being taught. So what do you want to say about people in school now and the educational system entirely? What do we need to start doing before we actually come to start talking about the jobs?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Jaffet. Like like you said, the first thing I feel, this is my personal opinion, right? The first thing I feel like in our educational system that we have to do to get this knowledge gap issues, we have to bridge this knowledge gap. First of all, I want to say that Nigerians are extremely intelligent people, right? We have so many intelligent heads in Nigeria, but intelligence is not enough. You have to get the right knowledge. You have to source for the right knowledge. Now you go to the universities and you see a 300 level student being or a 400 level student, they are teaching them C++. And then C++ is even a relative course, but let's say a 300 to 400 level student, they are teaching them COBOL. Like COBOL to do what? We have to be asking ourselves this question. Now, where each department should ask themselves this particular question. At these present dispensations, what are the subjects we have to detail for these students? This is the starting point. We have to be asking ourselves, why are we teaching a 300 level computer science student mathematics and statistics at that level? I'm a huge fan of mathematics, and I believe that mathematics plays a very important role in our daily activities. But then there's something called preference, table of preference, right? When you allow the student to do those less important courses on the 100 level, at most to the 200 level stage, from the 300 level stage, I'm even looking at the students that have like 5 years to spend in the universities. For the 300 level stage, we should be focusing on the core aspect of courses that will lead them to a professional stage. Like you said, we don't have to be graduating students that will now go to the workspace or that will now go to the professional stage, and we are not saying that you see people saying that when you get to that place they will train you, graduate trainee. It's absurd to be hearing such a thing. We shouldn't be talking about having graduate trainee. We should be talking about having graduate who will come to the professional field and do the work excellently. Not graduate. What is graduate trainee? So you will now use 6 months to train somebody for something that he or she was supposed to learn for 5 or 4 good years. It's absurd. So let's major our subjects in the universities on courses that are relevant. Take for an example, maybe because I'm a developer, maybe that's why I'm always focusing on computer science. But take for an example, if you are a student that is studying computer science as a degree, the majors should be what are those industrial marketable skills that a computer science student need to know. Just imagine if you major a computer science student on programming, from 300 level, programming have like 4 to 5 courses that he has to take, and you take it to what, a detailed level. Not just when you go to university these days, you see maybe you now see a course with a big title. They will tell you that this is in web development, that is web dev 222 or web dev 333, and you now see the lecturer will stay in HTML from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester. That is not a marketable skills. We have to, if we cannot teach this student, like I say, like that there is no better teacher than the internet. The university are not absolutely meant to absolutely expose you to all the details you have, but we can structure our university system in such a way that the student will have access to materials, to professional materials that will build them for the professional industries. We should not bombard them with things that are very, very irrelevant, things that they just have to cram and pass. Like we used to say that when we are still in university, la cram la pass. That is not the kind of educational qualification we need. I could still remember when we were still in university, there is this particular lecturer we used to have then. We had his courses. When we do his courses, we don't come to the exam or test or with the normal traditional way. They will say don't come with your notebook, don't come with anything, just come with a biro, and they will provide you everything. You are actually encouraging students to what? To cram and come and pour. But what he does is that he makes sure that you can come with any material you want, but the questions that we are going to ask you is, there are questions that what? That challenges your IQ, right? There are questions that challenges your understanding, not your ability to cram, but your ability to understand that particular subject. If you can have an educational system where we measure our target on students actually understanding that subject, not cramming that subject, we will go a long way in eradicating this issue of graduating poor students, because we have to let students do research, give them a platform to make research. If I am taking a course on web development, what I will do is I expose you to materials, expose you to several international recognized materials that you can build yourself. I serve as an instructor, so that when I come, we discuss what we have been able to learn in that particular field. In that way, we can be able to say that we are making progress with our education. Our education right now is just encouraging students to cram and to pour, instead of encouraging students to learn and to understand. If we can cultivate the habit of encouraging students to learn and to understand, I think we are going to really, really make a long way in our present dispensation, because you discover that most things you learned today as a developer are those things you researched by yourself, not those things that was written on the chalkboard for you to cram. I don't know if I'm actually making sense right now. So we really have to cultivate the habit of allowing students to express themselves, instead of allowing students to converge themselves in one particular understanding that the lecturer want them to have. Yeah, Mr.
Okay,
Jaffet.
awesome one then, Mr. Ochi. Really, I'm just blown because you have just said almost everything that has to do with the the mindset of how people in the school now should start changing. And really, I've just been here smiling and trying to see how get all information all at once. And really, this is awesome because really, you have said a lot. Looking at the tertiary institution, looking at their role they play in making these students or making a valuable, employable workforce for Nigeria. And there are a lot of things that need to be changed. Okay, I think subsequently we're going to have a speaker from the academia, a professor, and I feel it would be nice to also ask them what are they doing concerning this, because we have gone through this system, and a lot of these things that we're doing today were not actually what we learned properly, but we just had a foundation allowing us, okay, to build on the rest. But not every student will have that opportunity to even have friends or have the resources to and to further those studies to learn.
Yeah.
So most times, a lot of them feel when I get a job, they are going to actually train me for that, which is wrong, because a lot of companies don't actually employ you because you are a
Don't take
graduate.
that time.
They employ you because you are exactly. They employ you because you are skillful. So at the end of the after studying for 4 years and 5 years, a lot of them come out and they get disappointed because you feel as if it's somebody from the village that is chasing you. Nobody is
Yeah.
chasing you.
Yeah.
You understand? So the knowledge you are able to build is what will push you to out there. And a lot of times we are caught up with a lot of courses, a lot of assignments that are not, let me put them in quotes, that are not really relevant. So at the end of the day, you are in the university for 4 years studying things that does not really help you outside there. So I think it's high time the industry and the academia try to find a blend to understand what do we need out there, what do you need to teach them. because that will really help us. I believe a lot of viewers here from the academic sector and people in the academia or something will be able to understand where we are coming, because we from the industry begin to understand you finishing from computer science doesn't really give you a plus. It
Yeah.
doesn't. But you even finishing from agriculture and you're able to understand how to work with graphics, how to build a software, it doesn't matter, because
Yeah.
that's what we are looking for. We're looking for people that will be able to add value to what we are doing there. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Mr. Oji. It's really awesome to understand. As you have also said, a lot of people are just learning or like cramming and pouring rather than learning and coming out to serve. So thank you very much for that wonderful one. So we'll just move ahead to jobs, because currently we have understood the problem. So we need to
Yeah.
understand, okay, these are the jobs available, and this is what it takes for you to be able to actually fit in properly to this type of job. What do you need to start studying? How do you study? Okay, if I want to be, let's say I want to be a graphic designer, what are the steps I need to take? What are intentions I need to build around becoming a good graphic designer? So those will help us. And if I'm a graphic designer, how am I going to fit in? Because currently a lot of companies are coming up, and so many of them are building their architecture around the blockchain. So how will I be able to say, okay, this job is actually needed for a blockchain startup, and how will I be able to learn and fit in, even maybe before coming out from the school, or even someone that's already a graduate, how will I be able to change? Because this is the question. Somebody working in the bank and moving to a fintech startup that is built on a blockchain will need to understand the customer service of operations in bank is different from how I will do it with GIG expert. I don't know if you get
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
how do I need to understand? Yes, so customer relations is a new job
Yeah.
for a startup company in using blockchain. Even though I
Yeah.
might be from the bank, but I need to understand there are so many things that are going to change. I might not use all my experience in the bank, because a lot of things I will be coming there will need to change. So you just explain some of the jobs, then you will tell us how do we need to start building a good mindset around building skills around that job, and how we're going to fit in.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Jaffet. Like I used to say, right? If you intend to transition into something, like if you are in a particular field and you want to transition to another field, right? The first thing you have to have, right? Don't I used to tell people this, don't transition because you feel like that is the new oil money. I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of people make. Like, okay, this is where the money is. So because the money is here, I can go there. Life doesn't work like that. There is a skill set. There is a skill set that is peculiar to a particular person, right? So like they usually used to say, like, what do they call it? Apple tree doesn't grow in Nigeria, right? Because Nigeria doesn't have the right climatic condition to grow apple tree. So also cassava tree doesn't grow in the US because the US doesn't have the right climatic condition to cultivate cassava tree. You first of all you have to understand your strengths, right? There is no sector that doesn't have money. There is no sector where you cannot make a living. The biggest thing you have to have is the ability to create value, right? So if you are transitioning, like if you're transitioning from one particular field and you want to, let's say you want to transition from a generic banking system to that of a blockchain banking system. Yeah, blockchain too has its own banking. When you're working with cryptocurrency side of blockchain, that's another banking system on its own. Now, if you have to transition from a generic banking system to work with a team of cryptocurrency banking system, now you are absolutely telling yourself right now that you want to understand the way the system of the way digital asset work. That's the first thing you have to tell yourself. I have to understand the way digital asset works. Now, that's the first thing. Understanding your problem. You have to understand your problem. Secondly, you have to ask questions. Is absolutely important. Sometimes most of us think that we are genius And when you are transitioning into something, you feel like you can do it all by yourself. It doesn't work like that. There are so many things you will never know until you ask somebody who knows. So when you are transitioning into a particular field, you have to understand the problems you need to solve. Secondly, you have to ask relevant questions to the people that have been in that field. And asking relevant question brings you to the third very important one. You have to network. You have to join communities. You have to join communities of people that does what you do. Take for an example, I'm a Twitter fan today, not because Instagram is not a great social media network, not because Facebook is not a great social network, but because I understand that Twitter are mostly Twitter are a community that is majored for what tech guys. So that is why I'm a fan. So you have to sit down and analyze things yourself as okay, because I am in this profession, right? Which communities should I join? Where are the kind of people that I'm going to look out for mentorship? It is very important because at the end of the day, there is no one man that say that I sat down and built myself. No, you must have a helper. Let me even use the Bible analogy as a whole. Like God said that your helper, even when God is preaching to you, he said, I will always send an helper. So in whatever you do, you have to make sure that you are in the right community. It's very important. So if you are transitioning from a traditional banking system to a blockchain banking system, you now know that you have to be knowledgeable in digital assets. So you have to be looking out for communities that talks about digital assets. You have to be looking out for materials that talks about digital assets. Your colleagues, you have to ask questions. I used to tell people, no question is foolish for somebody who doesn't know something, right? Now, you can ask the most dumbest question ever seen on this life. The truth of the matter is that the day you know the answer to that dumbest question, that day you are not a dog to that question anymore. So as a person, do not be ashamed to ask question, no matter how stupid you think that question is, because the knowledge you have, nobody can take it away from you, and the ones you don't have is absolutely bigger than you. So when you are transitioning to a new field, find the problems, understand the problems of that field, and understand if you can actually cope with the problem, because every field you think you are going into today have their own problem. You think probably the field you are have so many problems, that is why you want to transition to another field, because you did not calculate the problems of your field earlier. So now that you are moving to a new field, understand the problem that you will encounter in that field, because the reason why you're moving to that field is to solve problems. So if you don't understand the problems that you will encounter in those fields, then how do you solve problems? So the first thing you have to do is to understand the problems. What are the challenges of blockchain? What are the challenges of digital assets? What are the challenges of cryptocurrencies? Right now, okay, I understand these challenges. You start asking questions, you start getting materials that will absolutely help you solve those challenges. I used to tell people, definitely there is no problem underneath this air that doesn't have a solution. Maybe that's the way we developers think, but I don't know if everybody thinks that way. But there's always a solution for a problem. The only issue we have is that we have not actually done enough research in order to find the solution for that problem. So whatever you are going through, whatever transition you are making, whatever problem you are finding, you must be able to do what? To sit down, work hard, and find the solution. And by mere doing that, make sure you communicate. Your communication is absolutely important. Make sure you network and make sure you ask questions. If you can do all these basic things, no man is an island, no man is born a genius. If you can have these basic criteria about yourself, you work hard, you ask questions, you join communication, you join community of the kind of people that does what you do, you have maybe one or two mentors to guide your path in that particular thing you want to do. I believe in me, the sky is your limit. You can do absolutely everything. So when you are transitioning, Just like I said, these four things are very key. Understand the problem. One, ask questions about that particular field. Two, join a community of people that talks about that particular field. Three, and mentorship. Have somebody that you always look up to in that particular field and you can always run to when you encounter problem that you feel like there is no solution to. And I'm telling you, if you can have those four things working for you with your hard work and everything, the sky is definitely your limit. Yeah.
Um, thank you very much, Mr. Oji, for that. It's really awesome to see you pointing out one particular thing. I think I was discussing with one of our social media manager, and he's always talking about the value and relationship. It's very important when you provide value and build relationship. It goes a long way to help you in actually growing from one particular sector to another. And it's really awesome to see or hear you mention that again. We really understand the dynamic that has to go around, okay, moving from a generic method of working to a new method of working, that we need to actually put in some things in place. We need to understand um, the business I'm even going into. Okay, what are the new things that have changed? Okay,
Yeah.
I should understand which type of value. Okay, who do I need to follow? What type of new skill set? Because just like as Albert Einstein will say, he said, learners will inherit the world, while the learner will find themselves prepared in a world that no longer exists. So the truth of matter is, when we keep learning, that means we keep growing. And a lot of people need to understand the current job you are working on now need you grow, because a lot of automations are coming in. People like automating a lot of work for people, for companies. So you need to understand how to grow, because even when automation comes, doesn't mean it's removing you from your role, but it's actually creating a new role for you. So people need to understand how to um, as we call it, transfer from one work understanding to another. And really, we really appreciate you for pointing out those key points for us to understand. Okay, so you coming out from the blockchain um, company, or you actually working with teams that are working on blockchain, we just want you to explain some few new roads we see actually coming up, or if there are existing ones and the new, because I think few weeks ago you were posting you needed here front end developer or something like that. I know it goes beyond just the technical end. There are so
Absolutely.
many. You work with legal team, you work with accountants,
Absolutely.
so we want to
Absolutely.
know some of those vital roles that are actually available now, and so that people will be able to understand, okay, these are the type of people we also need in this new sector that is coming up now. So those are the I think it will be nice for us to, maybe from the few people you are already working with, what are those core job roles that blockchain is already opening up for the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for this. This is a very, very important question, right? Because people normally think that when we say IT, that means you have to be a software engineer, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's either you're a software engineer or you're an ethical hacker. Or no, there are more to IT than just being a software engineer or IT encompasses of most of the job you have today. What is IT? Information technology. Technology governs the whole job you have today. You will hardly go to any parastatal today, any company today, where you will not see a computer system, right? So every organization makes use of a computer system, makes use of automations, right? So IT in itself is not just a child functionality for any company. It is the whole functionality. I'm sorry to say, but that is absolutely the ITs. The oil and gas industry today makes use of the IT for all of their automation. The agricultural industry today makes use of IT for all of their automation. Even the musician, the entertainment industry today make use of IT for all of their automation. So what am I trying to say? Every skill set you have has a place to play in IT. It's not, people have this mistake of saying that IT have a place to play in your skill set. No, it is your skill set that has a place to play in IT. You have to understand that, because organizations today are looking for business analysts. Now, you all you just have to do is to be able to look at documentation and analyze how the business aspect of that whole idea, or that proposal is going to yield profit or revenue for that organization. Organizations are looking for intelligent man, they are looking for content creators. When we say content, I'm not talking about skit makers. They are looking for people who can write, who can absolutely put up a content they can publish, a content they can use for a professional informations. A lot of organizations are looking for content creator, business analysis, data analyst. Now, all these are courses you can leverage on a daily basis. You don't have to be a coder like wow, I want to be a software engineer. No, that is not these are not the only techies. I can categorically tell you today that we have more females that are UI UX designer than male. Yeah, because what? Ladies pay attention to details. And for me, if I have a lady that is good with UI UX, that is user interface and user experience design for my company, I will definitely go for that lady, because what? Ladies pay attention to colors. Ladies pay attention to details in terms of flows, in terms of designs. So we have a lot of ladies leveraging on that aspect of IT, and making waves with that aspect of IT. There are so many ways. You can become an affiliate marketer. What do you do? As an affiliate, promote people's goods, promote people's material, and you make a lot of ends meet for yourself. We cannot talk about a lot of opportunities that are out there for a graduate. So that is why when I see people say there is no job opportunity, I just wave my head and leave that location, because I don't want something that will even get me pissed off. What are we saying? There are places for everybody in IT. IT is not a sub how will I put it? It's not a subject underneath anything. IT is a fundamental requirement. I think somebody just even posted it on the chat. IT is a fundamental, it's like the whole brigade, it's like the whole company itself, that everything falls underneath it. If you are in agricultural system, you have to look at yourself right now. That's what people fail to understand. If you're in agricultural system, you have to look at yourself and say, okay, I graduated as a crop science professional. Maybe I have a degree in crop science. Now you have to sit down and ask yourself, how do I leverage on IT now and make the crop science graduate that I am and sell with it? How do I use IT as the mother head of my degree and make my crop science profession sell on it? That is how we should be thinking, and that is how we're not thinking. We're thinking that because I graduated in agriculture, I might end up becoming a lecturer. No, you see doctors, you see nurse these days leveraging on the IT sector to become better in their profession. You see doctors today automating some of their medical equipment, automating some of their drugs. I was going around Lagos recently, and I saw this particular hospital, a particular medical company, let me use the word. It's an international medical company, but they are all over the world. Why? Because they are not just looking at themselves as a medical practitioner, but they know that yes, I am a medical practitioner, but I have to leverage on the opportunity that IT as a broad has given up to me, and I have to make that opportunity and have ends meet and sell. Like I used to say, if you look at the market value of the whole financial circulation all over the world, IT have 70% of financial circulation. That is to say that 70% of financial transactions are being carried on the IT on a daily basis. So if 70 to 80% of the daily financial transactions are being done on the information technology space, how are you leveraging on it? How are you trying to join that space and make ends meet through that space. That is what people are not understanding. You have to understand that IT is now the space that governs everything we do. Nobody transports his or her goods from Sokoto to Lagos today without having some ways of doing an automated communication from Sokoto to Lagos. You must have discussed the business idea or the business agreement with the person in Sokoto and tell him or her that this is how the transaction is going to look like. Whether you are in Benin Republic or you are in Lagos, there must have been an exchange of contract, an exchange of communication on the IT space. So the question is, how are you leveraging on this great opportunity that the IT has provided unto you? You don't have to say that because I'm a business graduate, then I'm not an IT person. No, that is a poor mentality. That is the mentality of the 70s. If you are a business graduate, if you are an art graduate, if you are a science graduate, if you are a social engineering graduate, if you are a miss, I used to tell people that studied mass communication, they study, I say, wow, mass communication is an amazing course. Do you know what it is to be a mass communication in this present dispensation of IT? When you study a mass communication, you should be thinking, how do I leverage on the opportunity that IT has provided to me as a mass communicator? What is a mass communication? Your ability to be able to communicate to masses. And where are the masses? The masses are holding their mobile phone. The masses are no longer in the street. The masses are people holding their mobile phone, communicating on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. This is where the masses are. Now, as a mass communicator or a mass communication graduate, how do you look at these traffics that are all over the internet and leverage on it? That is how you should be thinking as a graduate. So the jobs are there. What people fail to understand is that whatsoever you are, whatsoever profession you are working under, you have to understand how to make IT work for you. If you can understand how to combine your profession and IT and mesh them together, the sky is your limit. If you're a business graduate, how do I become a business analyst for a top company? That is IT. If you are a mass communicator, how do I become a content manager for top company? That is IT. If you are a computer science graduate, a computer science a bachelor degree holder, or even a master degree or a doctorate degree holder, how do I leverage on becoming a software engineer? One, how do I leverage on becoming a data analyst? Two, how do I leverage on becoming a graphic designer? Three, so there are so many pathways. You don't have to just say, I graduated as a computer science student and so fucking what? Nobody give a damn of what you graduated with. People give a damn of what you can do with what you graduated with. So you have to look at yourself and specialize in one particular aspect and learn that particular aspect to an expert level. If you're a business analyst, learn how to become a business analyst to an expert level. If you're a UI UX designer, learn how to become a UI UX designer to an expert level. If you clean office for a living, learn how to leverage on IT to become an expert level cleaner. You can even have people working for you. You can be a cleaner and have a portfolio online. It's simple mentality. You can be a cleaner and have a portfolio online. You get people to clean in Bagada, you get people to clean in Mushin, you get people to clean in Lekki. At the end of the day, they report in one particular portfolio for you and you pay. Everything is intelligent. You have to leverage on IT because IT is not just a space. IT is the ecosystem. I don't know. It seems like I'm even talking more than I can take, Mr. Jaffet. I think I'll just stop here right now. Honestly, yeah.
I think, Mr. Awesome, this is really awesome, Mr. Oji, because
Very good.
I don't even know from where to start. I've been trying to just take notes, I think I really have to go and watch this video over it because it makes so much sense that you are not even saying there's a special type of work for blockchain. They don't.
I
Everything we have can be merged. We just got to understand what we can do and how to make it perfect. So even someone, I just love the way you actually made it so simple, so that everybody don't feel like he's left out. Even bringing in people that can from mass communication. You know, a lot of them will say we are graduating like 50,000 from my department. That which work are we going to do? So, but you have made it so simple that these platforms uses almost everybody from the medical sector, people from mass communication, people that are studying graphics, people in the IT, even security, and a lot of things. So it has
yeah,
cut across almost every skill. Like, exactly. So it's the skill set that we have that these companies use. It's not as if the company is producing particular new skills that we need to learn, but everything we have is how we are able to present it and work with it. So your explanations is just so mind blowing and is opening up a lot of things. Just as you have said, IT is just a whole ecosystem, so it's just a new world on its own where it can accommodate everybody. Uh, I think any person that is missing this video, thank God for YouTube, so you can actually go back and watch it again and on Facebook. So, Mr. Oji, thank you very much for this awesome explanation. And a lot of our viewers have a lot of viewers watching from Facebook. We have people even watching from India. I have one of my very close friends from India watching also. We have people watching from LinkedIn. I think a lot of LinkedIn professionals are really going to love this because really you have explained one of the key aspects of the challenge we are facing in this country, and you have given Nigerian youth hope, sir. Because one of the hope is the little I can do can be appreciated. The moment youth
absolutely.
begin to feel like I'm worthless, the things I'm doing, we are too many doing it, I can't really do, but you have made it so easy for every person watching today to understand that you have hope. Whatsoever skill you have, all you need to do is to make it, it's just how you present it, how you make it look more attractive, and you can
Yeah,
go out there and make money from it. So thank you very
absolutely.
much for that explanation, Mr. Oji. We really appreciate it enough. We can't really appreciate you enough for this information. I know a teacher like you will have a lot and a lot. You can keep going on, but for the sake of time and for the
Yeah,
sake of the fact we are still coming up to talk about other topics, we
yeah,
just have to keep it short. I know you can keep me here for the next week. Why I'm just so happy is because today I'm on the side of asking a question. Most times we are
yeah,
always on the other side. So
yeah,
it's really interesting, and I'm very happy to ask. And it seems I really need to go and learn more on talking a lot again because you really understand how to pass information very precise. So thank you very much, Mr. Oji. We are
Thank you,
really
Mr.
happy to have you, and we know we'll still have you to continue from this change. You're an advocate of youth understanding what they need to do, how they need to build themselves. And that's why this topic was assigned to you because you have been doing this for several years. And I see the joy when you are sharing this information because it's like we have touched the core of your passion. You understand? So we try to say as much as we can to give topics to speakers on where we know they pay more attention to. And this is one place I have seen you over 5, 6 years trying to push in from university, pushing people. You have to go for tutorials, you have to learn this, following people with flash drive, giving them softwares or what have you. So
Yeah,
thank you very much. The entire sponsor team are really happy. Uh,
yeah.
B Conta, Vihipa, Vashita Resource Limited, 2100 Printing. We are so happy to have you. We can't say thank you enough, Mr. Oji. We are very we are still pleading that on our next call you still help us come online to explain it. So thank you very much. But before you go, maybe to just give it a cap or a wrap up, if there's any other thing you want to talk about that has to relate with the job, and I can't get enough listening to you. That's why I said I have to go back and listen to this or watch
Yeah.
this video again. But just to wrap it up, your last shout out to everyone before we call it a day, sir.
Yeah, like, first of all, I want to really appreciate you for having me here. Right, it's a privilege, right? It's not a deserved invitation. It's just a privilege, and I'm really happy that and somebody I respect so much in this field can have me here. It's an honor for me to be here. I really appreciate the fact that you had me here. And for everybody that was listening to us or that's still listening to us, thank you for giving me your listening here. It's just an honor for me to be here, and I know that we are still going to be seeing each other again. And I believe my handle is Jafet. Probably might share my handle. I'm absolutely always open to have a conversation about career, no matter the profession you are in. I am absolute. I love to jump into that conversation. I want to see people do great for themselves. I want to see people do great things, because when everybody is great, the world is great, right? So we don't want to see people suffering in the street. We want to see people making ends meet with what they can do with their hands. So I really appreciate the time you all have given to me to listen to me. So many things to learn, but we, of course, like Mr. Jaffe said, we can't learn everything in a sitting. So I believe you will continue learning that pace you are going through in your career pace. Keep it going, right? Be consistent. There's nothing that beats consistency. Whatever you are doing right now, be consistent with it. Work hard on it. Ask questions, relevant questions. Try to connect with people that are absolutely intelligent in that particular aspect of whatever you are doing as a profession. Try to be better. Don't wake up every day being the same person you were yesterday. Wake up every day, ask yourself relevant question. How do I improve on myself today? It's not about your job, it's about your career. Always don't always think of how do I make more money. No, making more money doesn't bring money. Thinking of making more money doesn't bring money. The only thing that brings money is when you think of improving yourself. The more you are, the more better you are in whatever you do, the more money you have. You only have money due to the value you create. If you have more, if you create values, you make money. It's as simple as that. There's no bigger ways to quantify yourself than asking yourself, how much value do I create? So thank you very much. So nice to be here with you all. I wish I could see your face, but I can't. But you can see my face. Yeah. So I'll talk to you some other time. Thank you, Mr. Jaffet, and the whole Big Contact team for hosting me. I hope one day I will be in Abuja and your cathedral, and you people will buy me a bottle of Coke. Yeah? Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Oji. Thank you all our viewers. Thank you for the comment. Our sponsors are going to be giving out. I think this one is coming from the contact $200 USDT for our active users throughout the series. I think from now to the next one, I'll be able to get the 10 active users, and you have to register on BigContact to be able to get access to your USDT. Our sponsors are also going to be sharing a lot as we continue with the series. We have a lot of speakers that will be coming up to talk about different topics or several topics that's related to blockchain. So thank you, Mr. Oji, for taking out your time today to be here with us. We are very happy to have you. We know we still invite you some other time to talk about this topic. I know the value in this video will speak out for years to come. So we are going to archive it. We are going to ensure that we push it out there to a lot of viewers, and we hope that a lot of ears, a lot of eyes will see and hear what you have just passed now, and will be able to make use of it to make a better of ourselves and the country. So thank you very much. Do have a wonderful night for everyone. I'm Mr. Oji. I'll try and
Thank you.
send you your code back. Hopefully to get to Lagos before tomorrow evening.
Thank you.
So
Thank
thank you. You just watch and follow our channel, Big Contact HQ. Follow me on Facebook, Japheth Johnson, YouTube, and LinkedIn, Japheth Johnson. As I'll be sharing more on our forthcoming speakers, so that we'll get prepared for their session. So thank you, and you have a wonderful night, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.